chat.
Hi, I'm
Ecolispy. This is a 2012 indie game by Polytron about rotating. Pretty much.
2D, 3D sides.
It is a 2D, 3D platformer, which
game set in a 3D world.
exactly. It'll make sense. It'll make sense.
It's a lot more obvious once we get into the game proper.
It is a mechanic that is very, very difficult to explain, but makes immediate sense once you see it in action. What may look here like a lovely 2D landscape, this beautiful green village you see before you, is actually fully rendered in 3D, and we are just viewing it from one fixed perspective. And as we continue through the game, we unlock the ability to shift our perspective and see things from a new angle. So this is Gomez. He's our little hero here. He's a pretty quick mover. And as you do, you know, first thing in the morning, climb to the very top of your village and meet God.
As you do.
As one does. At least I think that's what's happening in this cutscene.
We shall be meeting God.
Yep. I've played this game God knows how many times. No clue what the plot is. No clue what is happening in this game. So if nothing makes sense to you guys, don't worry. You're not alone. This is God.
God is a giant cube.
He is a giant cube. And he wants to chat with me today. And he's going to give me the ability to see things from a new direction. Unfortunately, something goes wrong, and he explodes and splits, as God does. And he's going to split into 64 cube collectibles. And our mission, in any percent at least, is to travel the world and collect 32 of those cubes to try and put God back together. Those cubes are split into 32 golden cubes and 32 anti-cubes. Golden cubes you get from exploring, picking up smaller collectibles, you know, completing platforming challenges. Anti-cubes are based more around kind of more meta puzzles and code breaking and things like that. So what you're going to see here, we're going to demonstrate our new perspective rotation mechanic. See that? So it's a 2D world that we're looking at, but rendered in 3D, and we can change the direction that we're looking at the world in. Normally, in marathon runs, we like to do a bit here about, oh no, the game crashed, but technical difficulties, but given the technical difficulties we've been having today.
Too much.
Oh. There we go.
Jump right back.
It's okay, it's okay. The game can reboot itself. It's very, very clever that way. And here we go. I didn't even mention we got a fez. They put a fez on us. That's where the name of the game comes from, is that you get a fez. And as we all know, fezzes, they contain mystical energies and magical powers that, you know. I remember the first time I saw in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, the first time I put on the
That was a crazy, crazy day. Life hasn't been the same since. So yeah, as you can see here, this is a fully 3D world, but we are usually locked in one perspective, and kind of the joy and the central mechanic of this game is finding ways to move around the world, utilizing the different perspectives that we can see it from. Another thing that's going to come up a lot in this run is, like I said, anti-cubes come a lot from like code breaking, and a lot of those codes relate to certain inputs of like strings of controller inputs. So you are going to see a lot like this. This is our first anti-cube here. A lot like this, rooms where we kind of run in, and the reward for solving the puzzle just kind of appears. And that's because I'm inputting like the solution to that room's puzzle as the room is loading in. So the good news is, if this game interests you, since you haven't done the requisite exploring of the world to understand how these mechanics work. Oh shit, hang on. There it is. Sorry about that. This room is a killer. The code in that one is really, really hard to remember.
As Morgan was saying, you won't really get spoiled in the solutions to the puzzles.
Yeah.
The puzzles are kind of done with inputs that you'll easily miss, and you won't really see how Morgan got to those puzzle solutions.
Exactly. A lot of the code-breaking mechanics that we use involve exploring the world and learning how to read different clues hidden in each of the levels, how to interpret different languages and number systems, and it's really kind of a proto-Metroidvania, if you've ever heard that word thrown around to describe things like Tunic or the Outer Wilds or things like that.
I love the name.
Yeah, Fez was kind of an early pioneer in that kind of genre, where if you've played the game a ton of times, you know how everything works. You don't need to run around the world unlocking things and learning new things, which is quite handy. The perspective rotation thing also has a lot of exploits and quirks to it, because I mean, it's a very difficult mechanic to pull off, I imagine. I have no idea how this engine works. And I think they've done a very good job with it, but there are a few ways that we can kind of exploit and manipulate the way that the game's rotations work. So you'll see some of that in here. There's a mechanic where if we are in midair and we rotate while Gomez, our hero, is kind of sandwiched between two walls, it'll push him out of the way in an effort to make sure he doesn't get squished. And we can use that to kind of warp around to places that we shouldn't, in kind of unintuitive ways, which let us skip some platforming and get to places faster than we would otherwise. There's another meta puzzle here. This bell tower involves learning this game's number system, which is a whole, it's a whole 4-hour journey all on its own. I had to take care there to count to 10.
Areas to understand exactly what just happened.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to make sure to count to the right number, because if you hit that bell too many times, if you fail, first grade arithmetic, you're in trouble. You got to ring the whole bell sequence all over again.
And that takes what?
Oh, it takes like a whole 4 or 5 seconds. It's unbelievable, yeah.
It absolutely destroys the run.
There's a lot of weird movement like we did just there that it's like a whole thing, and it saves 0.4 seconds over just walking from one side of the room to the other.
Wait, who's got time for walking?
Who's got time for walking? That block just moved on its own, as it does. These blocks are run killers. Yeah, now, I'm not saying that was very well done on my behalf, but I'm very happy that nothing went wrong in there.
Yep, it worked.
Because the solution to that room not going the way that you intended to is to leave the room and start the puzzle again. We're going to see another very good perspective warp there.
And again.
That's not an intended abuse of the perspective mechanic. But a lot of other ones are. For example, here, you're going to see me climb up these vines on the right. And I'm going to rotate to the left, jump over here, and now I'm all the way over on the left. That's kind of the bread and butter of how the game works. That kind of movement is, set and intended by the devs. And unfortunately, we don't see much of it in the speedrun because we're too busy doing other kind of accidental stuff. I mean, this next room is just an absolute headache.
Full of various different tricks involving spinning the camera the right way.
It's like every jump in here, just you wind up in the completely wrong spot.
And it's important to initiate the jump in a certain direction.
Yeah, so Gomez's direction is in 3D space, meaning that you need to be moving the direction in 3-dimensional space before you make the jump that you want to be going after the jump, which involves a lot of thinking. Oh, there's a little trick we like to do here where if you fall to your death but there is a door that you haven't opened yet, you can just open that door, and Gomez forgets that he's plummeting to his doom. Okay. We're going to do a dupe here. So it's a collectathon. You got to get 32 cubes, so any extra cube that you can kind of eke out in a place that you're not supposed to saves a good amount of time. But what we're going to do in here is so technical and happens so fast that I'm gonna I'm going to not explain it right away, but basically, I'm going to tell you to either cheer for me or boo for me.
Whether or not this goes successfully.
Yep. That went successfully. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Let's go.
Okay, so what we did just there was, when you collect 8 bits in this game, the game gives you a golden cube. It puts those 8 bits together. Now, if you collect multiple other cubes just in the environment while there are 8 bits in your inventory, and the second of those cubes is an anti-cube, it gives you an extra cube. Now, the technical reason for why that happens is about 4,000 words long, so I'm just going to ask everyone to take my word for it.
It happens.
It happens, and it means that the next time you enter, well, when you enter the next room, the game gives you those 8 bits that you collected, finally, in the form of a golden cube. In speedrun mode, which this game does have, but we don't have activated right now, you do... Oh, sorry. I'm quite thirsty. I don't know about you. This is thirsty work, this commentary stuff. You've got a nice little list on the side of the screen of what cubes you've collected. We can't see that right now, so when we duplicate cubes, it's kind of harder to see, unless you're actively going out of your way to keep track of how many cubes I have in my inventory. But I wouldn't expect that of all of you. That's my job. I'm doing some tricky jumps in here. Every time I grab a corner and I just pop off the corner, that's a... not a frame-perfect input, but it's... oh, all right, never mind.
A frame-perfect miss?
That was a frame-perfect miss just there. I needed to pick that cube up as I went. If you do every jump in this room perfectly, you get what we like to call the fast arches cycle, where we don't have to wait for these oscillating blocks at the top of the room to line up for us. But I missed it. One mistake. That's all it takes.
That small miss earlier at the start ruined that.
So that's a lesson for you all to learn, is never make any mistakes whatsoever, even small ones. And I just made another mistake right there.
This is
you can skip that.
detrimental.
Yeah, you can skip that warping animation and save about 6 seconds if you walk about 1 pixel further to the left than I did just now. I'm leaving so much out. This game is...
there's a lot of pixel-perfect sort of tricks that save you very small amounts
of time. But if you want to be competitive, you got to get them all.
Every single one of them across the entire run.
Which, as far as I'm aware, nobody's ever done.
It adds up.
It does add up.
Over the course of the run to be quite a lot.
Nope, I did that backwards. There it is.
Once again, another trick that...
another sequence
a bit absurd.
Yeah, another sequence of inputs that I've had to muscle memorize, and that naturally, as soon as I am on camera and people are watching, my body decides to just forget. You know, these things happen. Oh, I missed it. I missed the mushroom jump. It's incredibly technical, that one. Morgan's going to have to do a lot to recover from this time loss.
Should have put in more practice.
I should have put in more practice. I've been busy. I've been working. I'm very lucky that I got that dupe in the waterfall section earlier, because...
otherwise this would have gone pretty bad.
Well, it wouldn't have gone bad, but in practice, I was only getting that maybe 70% of the time, I want to say. And missing that, it's not a colossal time loss. It just means I need to go out of my way to get a different cube somewhere else later. We've just picked up a QR code, which was fascinating new technology when this game came out. They were so worried people wouldn't recognize what a QR code was and know what to do with it, that for every QR code-based puzzle they have in this game, there is an alternative way to solve it, which was nice of them, but means we can take advantage of the QR puzzles being kind of duplicated a little bit, which I'll get back to later. This QR code, though, when you scan it, it gives you a sequence of controller inputs that you can input anywhere you like. Which is handy for us, because if we're duping cubes by collecting multiple cubes at the same time, having a cube that we can spawn wherever we want, it's kind of perfect and exactly what we need to make it work. Everyone followed what just happened in that puzzle, yeah?
It makes perfect
that one made perfect sense to everybody?
Very easy to follow.
There are so many puzzles in this game that I have watched other people play, and I've just been tearing my hair out because I know the solution, and the solution is so obvious to me. So what we're going to do in here, we are going to spawn a bunch of different anti-cubes that we have access to right now. And I need to do it all without collecting this bit here until the perfect moment. And then we're going to grab all of them at once. Ooh, that one's pretty easy.
That was an easy one.
That was an easy one, yeah. We've just gotten 5 cubes for the price of 4 in that room, which,
Good maths.
I mean, I took the number of ones I picked up and I added 1. That's how a duplication works.
+1.
+1, please. This is Zoo, or Old Zoo, or Ruined Zoo, depending on what you like to call it. This is the second of 5. Nice. That double jump is frame perfect, I think. Not to brag or anything.
There's minor amounts of context that you pick up for these areas as you play the game.
Yeah, you come to... this is one of those QR code puzzles that's duplicated. We have to leave the room before this puzzle starts to work for strange reasons. But yeah, this is the second of 5 hub worlds that we come to, but only the second one the last one we visit in the 80% run. There is a lot of this game that is not covered in this run, and unfortunately some of my favorite rooms and areas are not covered in 80%.
Skipped over because they're not fast enough.
Don't care for them. You'll have to be doing full comp to visit all of those. But this one's nice. The music's good. The platforming's not too hard. There's a lot of cubes in close proximity to one another. It's a gorgeous place, full of knowledge and history and culture. And one guy in his silly hat. All right, let's see if I can get this. Nice. I'm very proud of myself. Another room in here where we...
Couple of strange movements and a random cube.
And a thing spawns. This is a hard one to get. It took me like days to get that room.
A lot of these seem like they're bugs, but they're actually just the intended part of the game.
Yep, fully intentional, just without context. Very, very difficult to follow.
And the speedrun tends to strip out a lot of the context.
Yep. If I do this next room right, this cube should spawn with me doing literally nothing. Nice. That one made sense to everyone, right?
It's a very easy puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That one actually is. That's one of the easier meta puzzles.
Yeah.
And all right, let's get this warp. That's what we should have done earlier.
Very nice.
See, I moved that extra pixel to the side, and that made all the difference.
Allows you to cancel the teleportation animation, which saves us a good 5-6 seconds.
I think it's 6 seconds. Yeah. Can't skip that one.
Too big.
Wish you could, but that warp is just too big. We're off to the lighthouse now. This is my favorite room coming up. Ooh, almost made that. This room is probably the best example in the game of just how well the kind of the intended perspective movement in this game can work. We're going to be moving through here very, very quickly. So, we're going to jump off this tree and then land back on the tree. And now we're all the way at the end of the pier. We collect this. This is back onto the pier, back on the other side of the pier. And that's all intended. Stuff like that. That's where the kind of perspective movement of this game is at its best. I love the lighthouse room. I love the lighthouse room.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Do you love this room as well?
I have complicated feelings about this room. I got it. If even one pixel of Gomez is over that second to last ladder when it rotates back to its new position, you get sucked along with it.
Missing that room
Oh, that's another 4 or 5 seconds right there. I mean, what are you even doing if you miss that one?
You missed that one.
Go back to school, mate. This is our last fun perspective warp here. Look at that. Now I'm all the way over here. It's a real blink and you miss it. It's so technical, everything that's happening in this game, that if I actually went through in detail and explained everything I was doing, I would find myself halfway through the next trick I had to explain by the time I finished with the previous one. Alright, there's invisible platforms. I didn't talk about them earlier, but it makes sense.
It does seem like a bug, but this is intentional.
No, this is intentional, and it is fair. I've heard people say it's not fair to put the invisible platforms in, but
You just gotta look hard enough.
just gotta look harder.
You see them?
Yeah. In a way.
It's obvious with context, kind of.
That's a lot of this game, really.
Yeah.
Obvious with context,
Obvious
kind
with
of.
context.
Like I said, plot,
That
who's to
is
say?
not so obvious.
Who's to say? We have 28 cubes right now, and like I said, we need 32 to finish the
32,
game.
So we only need 4 more.
We only need 4 more, but this is the last room. This is, in fact, the zoo, the area that we were at earlier. But back in time, it's nicer looking than it used to, because there's time travel in this game as well. Just thrown in, just to make things extra understandable.
Yeah, time travel is always easy to understand.
Oh, yeah. I have to make sure none of these people talk to me.
If they do, what do you lose?
4 or 5 seconds, maybe, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, we're going to our last 8 back here. We're going to get 4 cubes in this one room. Some people say this one's the hardest. I disagree. All you have to do is stand in the perfect spot there, grab that bit, drop down there, lock, hold onto the side, and then go.
Very nice.
Do that. Literally.
Yes.
Couldn't be easier, mate.
Very nice.
Couldn't be easier, mate.
Awesome. That was the last 8 back, right?
That's the last cube.
Oh, that's the last.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm going to head into this. This is our last room of the game here, and there's maybe a minute of cutscene here if we haven't had any donations read so far this run. If there's anything worth pointing out, then go ahead.
I do not have any new donations.
That's fair enough.
I want those donations to come in.
It is quite late in the night.
In that case, I'll give a read out to who we are raising money for.
Absolutely.
We
Go
are
for it.
raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research to make the last generation to die, make this the last generation to die from cancer. If you would like to donate, you can go to donate.AusSpeedruns.com. That is donate.AusSpeedruns.com. For anyone here in the physical audience here, you can always go over to our desk over here to hand in a physical donation. You can hand in a cash donation and it will still count towards it.
All right, thank you very much. This is the moon. At the end of the game, you go to the moon,
Makes sense.
and there's a squid on the moon.
That makes perfect sense.
There's
to
a
me.
big squid on the moon. Now, this room's on a cycle. The door at the top that is kind of our last difficult challenge of the game rotates around. Ideally, it's another room where if you make no mistakes on your climb up, you won't have to rotate at all when you get to the top. And since we're on the moon and gravity is lower, all of our actions take much, much longer here. So a rotation is pretty costly.
Much less gravity.
And you'll never guess. If you miss that door at the top and have to rotate,
You lose around.
it's going to cost you about 4 to 5 seconds. Oh, and I've done it.
Alright.
That right there, I grabbed a ledge. That's it.
It's over.
It's literally just like that. You make the smallest mistake.
You need to do this room perfectly to save the final.
You get maybe, I don't even want to say, less than half a second of leeway on climbing this room. So hopefully this is going to be a 1 spin.
That's all top of the screen is full.
Yep, and I missed it. It's gone. Oh, look how slow and disgusting that rotation was. Ew. Yuck. All right, so we just reached enlightenment. You know, we climbed to the peak of knowledge and understanding, and we unlocked new perspectives, and you know, levels deeper within ourselves. We're going to try to put God back together real quick.
Easily. We collected all 64 cubes, correct?
Yeah. We might have skipped a few on the way.
I think we did skip a couple, but we should be close, right?
I think that's meant to be full.
I do think that was meant to be full.
Uh-oh. Well, it's any percent, you know.
It's 80%.
Half a God's better than no God, right?
I'm sure
I think.
it'll work.
Should we do another joke about how the game is crashing in the middle of a...
Probably not.
Probably not? It's okay, guys. This is meant to happen.
Oh no, what's happening?
Oh, no.
What happened to the game?
This is the bad ending, depending who you ask.
I like the end cutscene. The end cutscene looks way...
I prefer this ending over the full ending, the true ending.
Which is a little disappointing.
But time is coming up as we walk through Gomez's front door here and leave his bedroom. And that will be Fez. And time.
Time.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, that was
Thanks,
Fez.
everyone.
I'm going to make it quick because I know things are tight on the schedule side of things. This was Fez. If it didn't make sense to you here, don't worry. That's kind of what playing the game casually is like. And if the perspective stuff interested you at all, I recommend going out and playing it. I'm Morgan Must Die.
I'm Ecclesby from Studio Ecclesby.
Yep. And thank you very much. On with the show, I suppose.
Thank you for Morgan of all time for that run with Fez. Just to give you a heads up, I did have a couple donations come in through those last few moments. We had a $75 donation from Jert, my moat killing it, being Morgan of all time. Thank you for that $75 donation. And then we had another $20 donation from Anonymous. Finally, some good Fez representation. Keep those donations rolling in. While we're still setting up for the next run, I'm just going to give you a quick heads up for anyone who is in the Twitch chat, who is sending in donations and subscriptions. All of the donation proceedings, all of the proceedings from the Twitch chat will also go towards Game on Cancer, which includes bits, subscriptions to the AusSpeedruns channel as another great way to support Game on Cancer. Rightio, we are ready to go. So coming up next, we have Yuki Layla with Shadow Generations, All Stages, No Wings. Take it away.